loud and see how that works. All right.
Okay, it's recording. All right. Just change the view here. Okay. So, yeah, so I chose this topic. So, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I decided to choose this because I feel like this is something that every single person pretty much in the world has come across in their life and, not done something because they're uncomfortable with it. And so I think it's really important, especially as we try to grow our businesses, that we realize the times that we are uncomfortable with something. And I wanted to just kind of look into that and break it down and, figure out what it is that's holding us back and what we can do. I just think there's certain action steps that we can take to get over that feeling of being uncomfortable. So that's why I thought this would be a good topic to do. It's the beginning of the year and a lot, we talked about our goals and everything. And so, a lot of times our goals are not being achieved because of something that's uncomfortable. So, we all have that thing that's holding us back. I feel like there's two different types of people. So there's people that fight the uncomfortable. So people that are more like blaming or making excuses or procrastinating or, wishing and envisioning without taking action, or just being quiet and not doing the thing, just kind of keeping things the way it is. So fighting the uncomfortable. And then there's people that face the uncomfortable. And I think that's kind of a learned skill. I feel like fighting the uncomfortable is something that we often do without realizing it. And then facing the uncomfortable is actually feeling those feelings and, doing it anyways. So it kind of made me think of this. So out of the 5 of us on this call right now, who this morning had either Energize or coffee? So or actually we could all do this. So for the next 10 seconds, think about anything else, but don't think about Energize or coffee. So that's the same thing with the negative feelings that I've come to realize. It's like the more you don't want to think of something, like if you're putting something off because you get that anxious feeling and you don't want to think about it and you dwell on it, that's exactly where your brain goes. You're trying not to think of something, and the more anxious you get about that and the more you say you don't want to do it, that's the more your brain will really just start thinking about it. And so I was thinking about myself, how many times, not Beachbody related stuff, but just in life, how many times have I done that? How many times have I just held myself back and overthought something? And I think probably this is one of the more relatable things, is because I'm sure we've probably all been in this situation, is we've had a relationship. You might have had a relationship. I know I've had many that have just drawn out way longer than they should have because you're uncomfortable. Or because you're comfortable. You're comfortable in that situation and you're uncomfortable with the thought of what's on the other side. And you don't want to go to that other side. And I was thinking about when I was like that, the worst was right after grad school. And I was in this 4.5-year relationship and he wanted to get married. And I knew that wasn't for me, not anything against him, but I was too young and I didn't want that. And I wanted all these other things. And before grad school, I don't know if all you guys know this. I actually was going to not go to grad school and take a job for Club Med and be an aerobics instructor on the beach. And my family, my mom especially, freaked out. She's like, no, you have to finish your schooling, go to grad school, get a good job, or go to grad school. And then if you feel like you still need to go to Club Med, do that then, but just, whatever. So I went to grad school, I stayed in the relationship, I got the job, and after probably a year of being a physical therapist, so I think I was probably 23, at the time. And I'm like, oh God, like I just felt so just stagnant. And it was just kind of eating me up inside. Like I just thought, wow, I'm really comfortable. Like I did all the right things and I'm comfortable and I'm getting a good paycheck, but I just felt stagnant. And I felt like, you know, I realized what the thing that's going to make me uncomfortable is the thing that's going to make me grow. And so I kind of went off the deep end, and I broke up with him, and I decided I am going to move. I didn't go to Club Med, but I did move to Hawaii, and he wanted to come with me, but I said, no, this is just something I need to do myself. Like, I need to become my own person. I don't really have a plan, but I'll figure it out. And so a lot of our friends kind of, when, you know, you got to choose sides in a relationship, and they pretty much all chose him because they all felt bad for him. And I was the evil person that left and up and moved to Hawaii, and, you know, habits being all selfish. But I felt like for me, I needed to do that. I needed to get out of my comfort zone, and I needed to just test myself and grow from that. And I did. And when I went there, I became really good friends with Laureen, who I'm still really good friends with. And she said to me, hey, do you want to paddle this 42-mile race with me in a canoe? And I was like, yeah, no, like there's just no way. And as soon as I said that, I was like, wait a minute, like I already did something that was hard. Like, let's keep trying something that's hard. Like, okay, like how do I have to do this? Like, what do I do? And we started small, and I joined this team, and we practiced at first twice a week, actually once a week. I think it was just on Saturdays, just to do a little fun run. And then we did twice a week. And then I started running a little bit and weight training a little bit. And the practices over 10 months got longer and longer and longer. And I trained for 10 months, and finally I did it. We flew out to one island and paddled back. And it was hard, but I realized on the other end of that, like, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Like, when I first, like, myself that was stuck in that relationship a year before that, to think, like, fast forward a year or a year and a half, like, I'd be living in Hawaii and I would have paddled a 42-mile race. Like, I never would have thought that I'd be that person. Like, I just totally turned into a different person. I didn't know anybody. I knew I would figure it out. You know, we've all heard the expression that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And so I wanted to test that out. And, you know, I did it. And it made me realize that when you trust in yourself, you find out how you are so much more capable than you think. So, like, if we take it even back to our childhood, you know, you might not have a story that's like an extreme thing, moving and all that. But if you think about the first time you tried to dive, like, into a pool, or the first time you tried to ride a bike without your training wheels, like, you were probably super scared. Like, I don't recall so much my bike as I do diving. I remember, like, sitting at the, like, standing, oh, sorry, that's so loud. Standing at the edge of my pool and just wanting to, like, go in. And we've probably all done this. Like, you start to go and you start to go, and then maybe you jump and you're like, gotta do it again. You jump back up, and then you might do it again. You belly flop. You're like, that hurts. I'm gonna do this. And, like, you just keep practicing. And, like, the more you fail, the more you're like, okay, it's not so scary. I'm gonna keep practicing. I'm going to keep doing it. And you kind of get into that zone after a while. Like, the same with running. Like, you once you do it, like, you're like, oh my God, I just did it. Like, you figure it out, and you tweak it a little bit more, and you get more comfortable, and you get into that zone, and you get into that, like, runner's high, where it just becomes so much more easy. Like, when you're in that zone and when you're in that runner's high, like, I think we can all agree with just workouts that once you do it and you're in it, it's so much easier for you. Like, it just kind of goes, and time passes by and you don't even realize it. It just, when you're in the zone, it takes up way less energy. So it just made me think, like, those uncomfortable thoughts, when you think about the thing that is freaking you out, like, say in business, in Beachbody, or in life, in relationships, those uncomfortable thoughts don't have to define your behaviors. So, you know, if that little kid at the edge of the pool can do it, you were that little kid, or the little kid that decided, I'm going to take off these training wheels and I'm going to start, I can do it. Like, you were that person at one time. So the next time you come against a challenge, just think of it as an opportunity to push past that fear and grow. And, you know, you think about the diving, you think about the bicycling, and you practiced and you did it over and over again. And now when you look at your 30-year-old self, your 35-year-old self, however old you are, like, was it that, like, is it scary now to get on a bike and ride a bike? Like, no, not at all. Like, you almost can't comprehend being scared because you just do it. And it's like, it's so easy. So that's really the thing with more, it takes more time to embrace that uncertainty than to pursue your passion. I don't know how to quit my, make that stop. Sorry, those are text messages. But it just takes more time to just embrace that uncertainty than to pursue your passion. So I just feel like the more you kind of practice something, the less scary it will be. So I think it's good to, when I was thinking about all this stuff, what I did was those goals that we talked about a couple weeks ago, like, if you get back out what your goals are and you write down all your goals, and then you think, like, each goal, like, think about, like, why haven't I achieved that goal yet? Probably there's some, and it could be, oh, because of time, because I had this going on and that going on. But, like, really, what is it? Like, if you break it down even more than that, like, what is the part that really stems from it? That's the actual thing that's holding you back. That's the, I'm kind of scared for XYZ reason. I'm anxious for XYZ reason. I don't know if I can do this for XYZ reason. Like, if you really break it down and figure out, like, what is the thing that is really stopping you from doing that, I think that would be helpful in practicing. And you just do that thing until it's diving, until it's riding your bike. So I came up with 5 strategies to kind of help you push past that fear. So I think the first one would be just to write down currently, where is your attention at? So is it truly in line with your goals? Or is it in line with something that's comfortable? So, you know, are you really focused on, you know, whatever your goal is, whatever your summit goal is, or whatever your end of year goal is it in line with what really scares you? Because if not, you don't want to be in line with the comfortable thing. You want to be in line with the thing that scares you so that you're going to grow. So that might be really hard to do by yourself because, you know, it's scary. So then you recruit. The second thing is to recruit the help of others. So any of us, or your upline coach, or an accountability partner, or somebody on your team cup, or the whole team cup, like, get with somebody and go over your goals and go over what you're scared about. And maybe we have some of the same fears, and, you know, you and I have the same fears, and we can help each other through them, and we can, you know, give each other these daily little mini tasks to do, or little competitions or contests, or do it together in a, you know, maybe a power hour together or something like that, and do the thing that's like the scary thing first, the eat the frog concept. So get the accountability partner, recruit the help of others. The third thing, just break it down. You know, you can easily get, I know that I can get overwhelmed when I'm kind of fearful of doing something, and that overwhelming feeling will sometimes just force you to just say, I'll do it tomorrow, because there's just too many things. Sometimes I realize, like, I think of the big picture of what I need to do, and I'm like, oh, because of this thing, that means I got to get this done, and to get that done, I need to get that done, and it's just this whole web of stuff that you have to end up doing just to do the one thing that you want to do. And so just break it down, like, just put it into little smaller chunks and think about the compound effect, and doing the small things every day, and just get started with the little chunks, little bits of things at a time that you can do. So when you break it down, it just makes it a whole lot easier, and just don't look at the big picture. Just look at some of the little steps that you can just take little bite-sized chunks out of. 4, think about what you can say to yourself when you're falling, like when you do want to give up. I have 2 things that I think about, like what I can say to myself or what you can write down on your board. One is very simple. It's just what if. So, you think about, like, I think about back to that story that I told earlier. What if I decided to, like, not pursue getting out of that relationship and I just stayed comfortable and I ended up getting engaged? What if I never moved to Hawaii? What if I never took a chance on that thing? So you think about what if and how your life could have been different. Like, everybody has what ifs. Like, you chose one path, you chose another path. What's the one thing that you might be giving up? What if I don't do this? The other thing that I love, I got from Danielle Natoni, one of the other Beachbody coaches. So I'm sure everybody knows her. She said something, I think it was on the Beachbody Champions page, that I wrote on my board, and I think about this every day. And it's discipline equals freedom. And this has really helped me with when I think about, like, the freedom, like what you really want for your big goals in life, that freedom that we all want. It breaks down to the discipline of doing the thing that you might not want to do, like sending the extra 2 invites or doing the invites. Some people just do all the other things and, get all organized and, put nice posts up, but they're not doing the one thing that's moving their business along. So, you think about that, like, what's the one thing that's the hard thing for you to do? Like, if you think about that, or even just your workout, like skipping a workout versus doing a workout, that discipline over time is going to give you freedom. And then number 5 is just jump. Go all in. Tell yourself, that you're going to make this work. You're going to make it happen. Commit to the action. And in doing that, I thought of, there was a TED Talk, and I don't know who it was. It was a woman that I saw a while ago, and I really liked this. This is just another thing that I think of. It's like, be the domino. So it's like, you think about the dominoes when they're all lined up, and there's that one domino that has to fall in order for all the other dominoes to go down. And I thought of it in the way of, like, taking that jump and, just doing the thing that you don't want to do, like taking the action and knowing that other people will follow you. It might feel uncomfortable to be the first one to fall. It might be the first, to be the first person to take the leap and do the thing, but people are going to follow you. Like, you might, sometimes dominoes, like, stop, and you got to pick it back up and you got to keep it going. But you have to be that first domino in order to get all the other ones going. So it's not so scary once it gets going. And so those are my 5 things. And that's pretty much all I have. So I'm glad, Nicole Grime, you're able to jump on now that I'm done. But yes, so I liked the concept of this because I just feel like it's a very relatable concept, and it's one that we often, you almost have to think about it sometimes. Like, you don't realize that you're living in the comfortable world day to day until you force yourself to be uncomfortable. And you just, as long as you don't dwell on that feeling, like I was saying about, like, don't think about the energized, don't think about the coffee, like, don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on the scary thing. Just do it. And I think that's my thing. I'm just going to always think about the discipline equals freedom and just get it done no matter what. Just, you can't dwell. So that's basically my spiel. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Hold on, let me look at the chat. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. So yeah, I would say tonight, One of the things I'm going to do is just write down, like for tomorrow and for the rest of the week, I'm just going to write down those things that, like thinking about my goals, and just write down the things that I have not been doing to achieve the goals, and just follow those 5 steps with each thing. You know, just getting an accountability partner, breaking it down and taking action. And I think if we all did that, I think it would make a huge difference this year with everybody. So that's it. Just got to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable. Heather, would you mind sending those 5 things? Because I'm too tired to write. Yes, I can. I'll just write it in the comments of the my post. So anything else? Any questions? Nicole, you're muted. I can't hear you. Do you want to type it? Okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't have a way that I can, I don't think I can unmute you. Okay. Oh, wait, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
My computer is just failing. I wrote down a couple of things you said that I thought were really awesome. The first one was, who are you telling yourself you can be? I think that's like a powerful, powerful message. So like as people are watching the recording, and you guys too, share that with your team. Like, who are you telling yourself you can be? Because you become the person you choose to be, right? And then uncomfortable thoughts don't have to define your behaviors. This was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I will put the recording on the page, and yes, I'll write those 5 action steps in there too, Michelle. All right, you guys, have a good night.
Thanks, Heather. Bye.